I learned that everything that has happened in my life has been a stepping stone for where my life is ultimately going to end up. Um, Again, this our overarching concept of mental health and just saving time and opportunity for our own experiences is key. You know, realizing that the trials and tribulations, the tests, as Jennifer spoke about, changing career, midway. I'm a mom of twin girls. You have to give yourself grace and you have to be kind to yourself. Sometimes success along the way had gotten a really bad rap because it was wrapped in, as John mentioned, being overworked and hustling and having this very unhealthy attachment to what success means. So redefining success at a much more healthy perspective, in a sustainable perspective, because you can win one time and fall, or you can win over a lifetime if you have a healthy mindset and really healthy practices. Find community that supports that line of thinking so that it'll sustain you. Because as you can see, with especially this year that took us all off course, what better time to reevaluate what it means to be healthy, successful, and happy. So happiness has to be your driver, and your purpose will be your guide. That's what I've learned.
One learns so many things in life, but I'm going to bring it down to a couple, to some pretty small things. One is, and I mentioned this before, your values. Your values should be with you in everything you do. And if you don't think, if you say, well, I don't know what my values are, I would say spend a little time and think it through and be able to articulate them, because you don't want to start figuring it out all the time when you're, got a problem, you're in crisis and so forth. It helps, it builds inner strength. And that's going to be really important. When you're considering jobs, let me be specific to kind of what got us, all together today to meet one another and be with one another. When you're thinking about your jobs, I always made my decisions about where I would work based on the people I would work with and for, and I needed them to be good people. I had to make decisions not just about how am I going to spend my time. I want to be around good people, because if I'm around good people, people who I think have integrity, people who care about other people, I honestly believe good things will happen. And if I had to be around someone I had no respect for, and I couldn't stay there long. I mean, it just wasn't right for me. And who you are with, who you work with, who you work for is very important. And when you make some decisions, I want you to think about that as well. And if you have that feeling in your gut, because they don't tell you, well, I'm a really bad person, so don't come work for me. But we've all been there. You get that feeling in your gut, oh, I don't think this person cares much about me or any other human being. What they really care about is their own success, their own ego, their own everything. Register that. Keep it in your mind. Think about it as you put together the whole scenario of what it is you're going to consider. So I encourage you, that life is, we may compartmentalize to solve a problem, but you need to bring all of you into life, into your work, and into your family. You don't just, Rainey, I just saw a beautiful child in the box with you. You bring it all, because that's who you are, and it's a blessing and it's a plus. So to me, that's the thing I learned, is that we're everything that we are, and it's all, it's all good, it's all meaningful. We figure out how to use it and how to make the situation the best possible one. That's what I learned in all these many years.
The number one thing I learned is, first of all, two things I should say. First thing is learning from every experience and everyone you possibly can. Marge, forgive me when I said Miss Magner, my mama taught me to have respect. So as the first thing that comes out of my mouth. But I've been listening intently to everything Marge was saying, everything Jennifer was saying, Doris, and just digesting it and see how I can apply, but also pass it on to somebody else. So if you are forever learning, you will forever be able to help as many people. And that's the second one. I'm I'm a man of God proudly. And number one thing I love to do is help as many people as possible. It makes me so happy to see somebody else smile. And even if, it could be big or small, doesn't matter. And in your heart, you will go so much further trying to help people. I can't tell you how many places that I've been, how many people that I've talked to, I've been in a room. I've been in a room with millionaires that didn't know I was in the room with millionaires because I was just trying to help them with something that I knew very well. Until someone told me, it was like, do you know who that was? And I was like, no, I saw he needed help. And it's like, oh, this was such and such. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, that's such and such. So but again, the mentality is, how can you help somebody today? We're talking about career. Yes, we're talking about how to go into the next step of what you want to do. But I guarantee you, in that next step, in the steps to follow after this, is somewhere in there is going to be somebody going to need your help in some way, shape, or form, whether it is your skill, whether it is at your job position, whether it's something you do well or don't do well, they're going to need your help. And if you put your best foot forward and you dig in and you look to help as many people as possible, at the end of your career, whenever that is, and you look up, and you look back at everything that you've done, you're going to have a full career and something that you should be proud of. Forget about the money, forget about whatever else, the job titles and positions. How many people have you helped along the way? Because that is legacy. You can't take the money with you. You can't take any of that stuff. The other stuff is legacy. And how many people you help, they'll tell the stories of, I knew that person because, they helped me in this case, and they didn't have to, and I remember that. And you may hear it later on in life, and you may never hear it, but at the end of the day, it's deep down. How many people did you help, and genuinely spend your life going after it and helping people? Take your time for yourself and be focused on not just your goals, but how to be a better you. Somebody's got to be you. It might as well be you. I live by that wholeheartedly.
Just wanted to say I agree with everything that Doris, Jonathan, and Marge said. And I just want to add to it that also I've learned through my experiences is that everything happens for a reason. So when something doesn't fall into place the way you would like it, or our job didn't work out, that might mean there's something more you're supposed to learn where you are, or maybe there's something you're going to find elsewhere. When I was first turned down by Ion all those years ago, and they hired somebody else, and then 4 months later they call me offering me a different position that opened up. You never know where opportunities are going to come up from, and so I really embrace, just from so many personal and professional experiences, that just everything happens for a reason, and to just find ways to surrender to that moment and focus on the things you do have control over, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And just always find ways to evolve from those situations.
Make sure to check out the My Career tab on the BC Navigator app, where you can track your career progress based on the amount of credits you've earned, stay updated on upcoming events from the Magner Center, and watch our videos for insight and advice on your career field.